episode of Teen Quarantine. We are so excited to have you here today. We have a very special guest, Miss Leila. Hello, Leila. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Gosh, that background is pretty cool. Is that what you
Our
use
little
for all your acting?
yes.
That's awesome. You got a little at-home studio set up? So I am super excited to chat with you today. First off, the first thing before we even start talking about like where you're at and all the things going on with you, I just want to say I'm super proud and excited because you just moved into the teen class, right?
Yes.
What was
I'm
that
very
like?
excited.
Yeah? Tell me about what that was like.
I thought it was gonna be like really hard, but like I just like jumped right in and I like everyone was really nice. It
You
was really
sure
fun.
did. You sure did. And they are all, I got to tell you, I can't remember who it was specifically, but afterwards we were talking, me and one of the other students, and they were like, that Leela is so nice. She just got such a great smile and attitude. And so you are just such a great addition to our program, and we just love having you. And I'm really proud of you for moving up. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So let's get started with sort of just in your life right now. You know, there's been a lot of change and things going on. Like, what's going on with you?
So in quarantine it's really fun kind of because we get to spend a lot more time with my family, but it's also kind of like hard because it's not like normal. We don't get like our normal schedule and we don't get as much physical like activity. So it's really different.
Okay. So when it comes to like physical activity, what do you mean? Because I know you do gymnastics.
Yeah, so like I used to do that like about I think 12 hours a week. So now I have online, but that's like not the same.
Go ahead.
It's
It's not
like really more different.
okay. Cool. So, well, here's the thing with that. I know everything's different, right?
Hmm.
Everything in our lives is a little bit different. But I'll tell you, as a viewer, okay, who watches your stuff, who watches your Instagram videos that you and your mom put up, I've actually seen, and it's probably different for you, but I've seen more active videos actually.
Yeah, because my
Interestingly.
mom's like, "Come on, Leela, we gotta like get our core strengthened." And TikToks, she's like, "Those will strengthen your body."
So your mom's encouraging you to get out and do those things with her.
Yeah, I used to like try to get her into it, and now I think she's way more obsessed than I am.
Okay. Well, you're lucky, honestly, very lucky to have a mother who's like, okay, I'm helping you and pushing you in those ways to do those things.
It
Um,
is really fun, yeah.
it is. And honestly, I can, even just watching the videos, Leela, I can tell what a great relationship you guys have. It's so cool. So, how do you deal with motivation? Is that something that you struggle with, or is that something that very easily you're like, okay, let me get up and do it?
I can do it. I just get like really distracted of like anything. Like if
Okay.
there's a butterfly, I'll be like, "Oh."
Get that squirrel complex, like back forth.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. So let's talk about some ways that we can start working on that and growing in that way. So you're passionate about gymnastics. Tell me about some of the
Yes.
other things that you're really passionate about.
So I'm really passionate about gymnastics, yeah, and then acting, but other than that, it's probably like I don't really have any other activities. I just really like to like hang out with my family and like bake, I guess.
Okay. So right now, are you doing all those things?
Mostly, yes.
Mostly. So what's
Yes.
missing? What's the mostly?
So I do gymnastics. It's just like I don't like we'll do conditioning,
Okay.
but not like actual stuff.
Okay. So here's the thing. When we get back, and we will, things will go back to normal. It's going to happen. There are going to be people who worked super hard during this time, like yourself, who conditioned, who continued to work on their stuff at home, who found new creative ways to stretch. Let me ask you this. Have you done any type of new conditioning that you didn't do before?
I have, yeah.
How cool is that?
It's really fun. It's just hard.
Of course it is. It's
Yeah.
it's hard work to get something you want. So you go, I love gymnastics. I want to be great at it. It's a journey of difficulty. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah.
So what's cool is, Leila, I just want to help you a little bit because you're doing a lot of the right things already. I want to help you flip your perspective. I want to remind you, instead of looking at, oh, I don't have gymnastics the way it was. I don't have acting the way it was. I don't have this thing the way it was. Instead, I want you to look at, what am I gaining and learning right now that I didn't have before in new ways? So you take gymnastics, what are some of those new conditioning skills you've learned?
We've been doing a lot of things that like we have at home, not with like things we have at gym. So we have like we've been using chairs and couches. So that's just like the newer stuff that we do.
Okay. And is it like new exercises too?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about one of them.
We have this thing we have to stand on a chair and like bend one knee and touch the floor with our other leg. It was like it felt really good, but it was like really because we've never done it before. It was really cool.
That's awesome. So here's the first thing I want you to do. Make a list of all those new exercises. Make a list of and when you get a new one, you can make a little gymnastics journal if you want, like some sort of tracker that you could do it where you go, all right, I learned this new one. I'm going to add that to my list. And then think about it this way, Leila. When you get back to the normal, you go to your gymnastics class and you do the gymnastics the way that you were doing it before, except you're going to have continued to grow during this time. So while other people were not, you were growing. You made a decision that you were going to keep working on yourself. So when they come back weaker, because instead they weren't doing those things, you're going to come back stronger. Do the exercises you were doing before, but better than ever. And at that time, I don't want you to stop doing the exercises you were doing. Now you go, oh my gosh, I just realized how much I can continue to work at home also. I don't need my gymnastics class. I want it, and it's going to be great, and it's going to help me get better. But in order to get better there, I can do this stuff at home always. Perspective shift. One goes, oh, I don't have all the things I wanted and had before. And one is like, oh my gosh, I just learned something new. Right?
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
The second one.
Yeah, right?
More happier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for gymnastics. Let's look at our acting right now. What have you gotten to do differently in acting that you didn't do before?
So my mom, when we get like new scripts and stuff, she'll like write it on flashcards. So we've just been practicing and practicing and practicing.
So you've gotten more hours on your acting, right?
Yes.
Do you love acting?
I love it.
You love it.
Yes.
You want to be an actress?
Yes.
So how cool is it that you and your mom, who also loves acting, are getting more time together to work on the thing that you love?
It's really fun because it's like we get bonding and we have a lot of bonding time, which is like, it's amazing. And I just love it so much.
See? And look at that smile. Look at it. I mean, you can't beat that smile. So my advice to you when you're going through some of this, the struggle spots and thinking about all the things that you don't have right now that you used to, when that comes to your mind, and it will, does it for all of us. There are things about in-person classes that I miss a lot. Seeing you guys, giving you a hug, that I miss it, right?
Me too.
There are things that I miss. However, we have learned a lot through this process that has been so cool and so exciting. And so if I'm getting sad about something, instead what I do is I pause for a moment. I realize I'm doing that. The first thing is realizing it. And then I realize, okay, let me think about something that I am excited and passionate about right now. What's good about this? And this will translate all the way through, because this happens all the way through life no matter what, Leila. You're going to have thoughts come to your mind that are negative and like make you down. And then in those moments, if you can learn to go, nope, that's happening, let me counteract that with joy. Let me counteract that with going to do something I love with my mom, with baking, with thinking back and picking up a script, like whatever it is, then you're actively doing, and it's going to help you become joyful. You make sense?
Yeah, I like that. That
Awesome.
sounds good.
Awesome. And I know you have a couple questions for me as well. So why don't you start off with one of those?
Okay, so the first one is what can I do to prepare for going back to like normal?
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Like, because it's gonna be so much like it's gonna take, because this, we're getting used to this,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to get used to like that again.
How did you get used to this?
I guess I just got used to like not going anywhere and just spending time with my family and going on walks,
Mm-hmm. At first,
just
was it a
doing all
bit of a
that.
shock?
Yeah.
And then you started getting used to it, right?
Mhm.
So my advice is it's going to be the same thing, just in reverse. What's going to happen is it will shift back. And I'll tell you, some things will come back and some things won't. Certain things are going to change. For example, the education system guaranteed will have a major shift in some way. Because in the public school system, every teacher around the United States stopped school and had to learn to teach online. The entire world had to learn how to do online. My grandma learned how to use Zoom so that we could talk to her at the end of a night. Like, the world had to learn virtual like that. So when we come back, yes, there's going to be in-person stuff. However, the way we communicate virtually will have advanced and changed in a huge way. So some things will be different, some things will be the same. So the advice is just start to adapt slowly. Same thing we talked about a moment ago. Find the joy in everything. Find the joy in everything you're doing and go, all right, let's figure this out today. Let's adapt. Because that's what you've done, Leila. I mean, you've already got it. And you were set up for success in a lot of ways. You already had a self-tape facility in your house that you and your mom created. Like, it was already set up for you because you had already been doing those things. And so when all that happened, it's like, cool, I have all this now. I have
Yeah.
all this cool setup to work with. Awesome. So when it goes back, you're going to just start adapting back. And ideally, you're going to take, like we talked about the gymnastics, all these brand new, really cool skills that you've learned, and you're going to apply them. And the last part I have for you here is you're going to have so much joy from all these things that are happening, right? So when you get back, I talked about this in a chapel last week. Realize all the things out there that you didn't have when you were at home and be thankful for them. So I brought up hugging, right? Are you a hugger?
Yes.
You miss hugging people?
I really do.
Me too. Me too. So when you get back and you get to hug somebody, remember, holy moly, I get to do this right now. And what will happen is you'll hug people and you'll hug people and you'll hug people. We're back to normal. 5 months down the line, a hug's just going to be a hug again. And we're going to forget how special it was. So to help you adapt, here's another thing I would do. Okay, you ready? I would create a list right now of all the things when you go back you can't wait for, you're excited for, that you were thankful for and you miss. And then when those things become normal again, don't allow them to just be that thing that just happens. Realize that every time you get a hug, it's special. Every time you get to come into the studio, it's special. Every time you get to go to gymnastics class and do a cartwheel on a mat, it's special. And then, if you can learn to live your whole life that way, every single day, you will be living a joyful, optimal lifestyle every single day. Every single day. You'll treat it like nothing was just given to you. Nothing is yours that you get to have. It's all given. Excuse me, I said it backwards. Nothing is entitled, I cannot even phrase this, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's all a gift. Nothing is something that I've earned, is just there. Like, it's a gift that I get to have. Okay, cool. What else do you got?
Okay. How can I use this time to create better habits?
Better habits. Okay, so tell me about your habits right now.
So, I have some bad habits and some good habits, I guess.
Okay.
So now my new habits is to just like wake up, do what I have to do, and then just I'm basically done.
Okay. So tell me about the have to do's.
Normally, like not on weekends, it's just school because I take a long, long, long time to do school.
Okay.
All my friends are done like that, and I'm just like,
Okay. Do you do, have you been doing school at home before, or is it like transferred to you? Were you at school and now you're doing school from home?
I was at school, now I'm doing home school from home. But it was like I've always wanted to be homeschooled, so I'm like living like what I've always wanted, but
Hello.
it's kind of good, but kind of it's good, but it's I don't know.
It's different.
Yes.
It's different. So it'll take some adapting. So first, and we're going to get all the way back to your question in a second because I got some more questions for you. But you mentioned your friends getting done in a certain amount of time. I want you to wipe your friends from your mind in that way. You have to. You have to, have to, have to. Because all that is comparison. Because here's the thing. For all you know, your friend is saying they're done, and they've actually done absolutely nothing. Or they rush their projects, and they're going to get a bad grade. You have no idea. And then on the total other side, somebody else may be just really quick to process information in certain ways. And so they're just really good at that. You need to learn at your level and not compare yourself to anybody else. So that's something that's really important to understand. So instead of going, oh, I'm not as fast as somebody else, let's go back to get to. You get an education. You get to live in a time where there is video calls. And so guess what? Your education gets to continue. Because you take this whole thing and put it 40 years ago, there's just no school. How's that sound? Exactly. Like, there's just no school. And so you get to learn. And so don't do it at somebody else's pace. You do it at yours. So for your school, how long does it take you usually?
I take a lot of breaks like so my mind can like refresh.
Okay.
So normally it takes like as long as a normal school day would be, so like to 3.
To 3?
And if I have like a lot of schoolwork, it'll be like till 5.
Okay. So tell me about that. Are you going like a half hour, then taking 15 minutes? Like what do your breaks usually look like?
So I try to like I'll do a subject and then do like go outside and play with my brother or something. Or I'll do like say I'm on math, I'll do a math problem and then I'll do like part of my script and then I'll try and do a press handstand with my mom. So it's I just take a lot of breaks so like my brain can like if I'm mad, I'll just like refresh and then I'll like breathe in, breathe out.
Okay. So my first suggestion, if you have to get away because you're getting really frustrated, use that. What I would do is I would try and create a little schedule in your mind based on knowing yourself on how you can really zone in. Matt, you're in here, yeah? Somewhere? Cool. So I'm going to bring him here for a second because there's this term that he talks about, and I know he's read about it. It's a specific type of learning that I think is really awesome. And basically, it's just about making sure you're focusing on one thing at a specific time. So let's say it is the school, right? If it's the schooling, you're zoning in on just that. You don't have your phone near you. Your brother's not there. Like, nothing else is there but that. And so there's a specific thing this is called. And I cannot remember what it is. I know you talked about it a lot. So if you want to pop over here real quick, she can see you, and then you can share, or you can just speak into it. Either way, but she won't see you from over there.
Yeah, I'll just talk about it
Cool.
here. So, so what are we?
This the idea of like focused learning. So like where you're in one thing, you take away everything else. So you taught me basically that if I'm gonna do something, do that one thing. Like,
That's it. The
focus
one
on
thing.
The one. It's the one thing. Okay.
Yeah, if you can find a way to get laser focused on one thing at a time, you will change your life forever. And the one thing can be an acting class. It can be your gymnastics in this case. It can also be hanging out with friends and, you know, talking to your grandma. I mean, anything. But if you're doing one thing and then thinking about another, you're not really doing either of them well. So that's the big key. And, you know, Brian, he loves this. We've even joked about it. He loves his teen quarantine. He's like, this is my thing. He just loves it.
Yeah.
But guess what? When you're doing this, Brian, are you thinking about anything else?
No way.
You see, and so if you treat everything in your life the way you treat this, your life would change.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing for Leila here. If you can allow yourself to just zone in on one thing at a time, like really deep, you'll find a way that you can exponentially grow in each small area. And I don't know, it becomes really fun too. The process becomes really fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
So Matt has just been such a huge influence on my life, and so that was just, when I heard that, I was like, okay, I gotta just grab the master over here and get him going on that. So cool. So does that make sense to you, Leila?
Yes.
So that's what I would do. I'd look in and figure out what the time's gonna be and zone in completely for school for 30 minutes. And you're not allowed to stop. You're not allowed to stop. It's 30 minutes on school. Then you're done with that. Great. Let me go have my gymnastics break. Let me zone in on that time. I'm going to go bake with mom now for this amount of time. I'm not thinking about school. I'm not thinking about gymnastics. I'm not thinking about acting. It's just me and mom baking, right? So that will, if you decide to act on that, that will make a huge impact on your life. Huge. Okay, cool. Now you got one more question, I know. So let's hit that one, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay. What is the best way to stay motivated and focused on like schoolwork or like practicing a script or like whatever you're doing at that time?
Well, we just did that, girl.
Yeah.
That's that. You know, you just come in and you focus on the one thing. So you have exercises to work. We've given them to you in class for acting. I'd be happy to give you more if you'd like to work at home. But it's really down to, I'm going to dedicate this amount of time and make it consistent in all areas. Cool. Anything else you got?
Not really.
Awesome. Well, Leila, this was so awesome. I know I'll have you in class here this next week. So I'll also, woo! So excited. It has been so cool having you in the online class and working on all your skills in there. I know you're just going to continue growing, so keep working at it. And I'll check in with you next week, too. I'd love to hear about how this blocking and the one thing is going. And I believe in you. You're going to do great things. So keep that great smile, and I'll see you in class next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Teen Quarantine. We'll be back on tomorrow. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment to our channel. We are all about putting out light-driven content. If you're interested in getting on the show, reach out to us via 480-313-9901, and we will talk with you soon. Thank you.